So creepy.
Also, can I just say, objection, leading the witness. Holy hell. Like, he
But
was really good with the kids before, but then he's like, so did you hear about, like, when did you get that feeling? Was it this time, or was it when you got home? When I got home. Like, just let her come up with the answer on her own.
a bit, but she is the first one that's come forward and is kind of giving a meaning to their being there. And she's saying that they're trying to warn us that the planet is dying, that there's going to be no oxygen. Like she's kind of getting a vision from all this. And it's good that he asked her that, like, well, when did you come up with this? And I think she was being straightforward. That like when she got home later, she started to think about it. And I mean, I don't.
Well,
like
yeah,
I said,
I mean,
I don't know what
everything else
media.
was.
I don't know what media they have. I know Captain Planet was probably big around the time, but I don't know what kind of influence it had in Zimbabwe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, she then went on to say that she hadn't like had that thought before. She thought about it once she got home, and not the second that she saw the thing, which that felt a little odd to me. But
Well,
I mean,
made
everything
her,
else.
it made her feel.
It just sounds a
It
little confusing.
made her feel terrible. She said, like it made her feel sick first, like, and then she started to feel these feelings of like premonitions, is what it sounded like. So it's
Yeah.
I mean, unless I don't know, it sounds like she was naturally saying that stuff. I don't think that he was really pulling that out of her, to be honest.
I guess it was because everything else the kids were giving freely, and then that one felt a little bit more guided.
I think
But I
he
guess
had
maybe
like
that was just
I
me.
think he kind of had an idea of like that she wanted to say more, and he was just trying to figure out a way to get her to talk about it. And I get what you're saying though, but the way that she says it sounds like she's like haunted by this. Like
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, he was taken aback up a little by it. I don't think he expected it to go in this direction, and maybe he sees like if they were going to make a movie, he's got his star budding. You know, somebody who's going to come forward and give some kind of bigger meaning to this. But some of the other kids do. But here's John Mack, and he talks about what he thinks about the children's story.
Like a person talks about something that has happened to them. And when you're talking with a psychotic who's telling you something that is a delusion and you feel that it really didn't happen, I can tell. I mean, I know this is something that person wants me to believe, or they're frightened, or they're distorting reality in some way. There's nothing like that here. These are people of sound mind, by and large, telling me something that's very... They know that I might think they're crazy, and so they're a little concerned about telling me, and they're very full of questioning themselves and doubt, and I mean and then they describe something very real and intense, a light or something happened to their body, or it's the whole quality of the way they talk about it is the way a person talks about experience that happened to them.
It was so bad.
Yeah, this is a Harvard professor, right? Backing these kids up.
I agree with him.
Tense.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, just he believes them. He wants. I mean, he wants to believe them. He says he compares it to like talking to like a psychotic or something. That he can kind of tell when someone's full of it.
Oh, that's the word he used, psychotic. Because
Yeah.
I thought he was saying like when you're talking to a psychiatrist, and I thought he just couldn't pronounce it correctly. I was like, what did he call it?
He is
He
He is a psychiatrist. He's a child psychologist. He gets his psychologist, psychics. Oh,
When you're talking to a psychotic, you're afraid to give details.
yeah. Well, so here we're gonna hear John again. John's interviewing again, and it's about to get a little creepier.
At break time.
Break time in the morning or lunch break?
Morning.
Morning break. And what were you doing at the time?
Well, I was playing in the playground, and then we saw something silver, and then we quickly ran to the logs, and we saw a silver thing, and we saw a man standing next to it.
They were just like looking at all of us. They seemed to have stiff necks. They didn't seem to move their necks like we can.
Like
How
Batman.
tall would you guess they were?
They're about my size.
About your size.
His eyes looked at me as if, I want to, and things like that.
I want to what?
Ew.
I want you.
I want you.
Ew.
I told
Ew.
you. I told you it got creepier. Sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that kind of creepy.
Sounds like
But, yeah.
sounds like they saw Michael Jackson possibly.
I know before when they were saying like, oh, he looked interested. And I was like, okay, I wasn't going to go down that path right then. But it's like, oh, sometimes it's nice when people are interested in you. but not this. Like, oh, I want you. Ew, I don't know what to say about this.
It's just the kids aren't meaning it that way. I think it's just, but it's
who knows.
If that's the image that they're getting in the head, I want you. I want to take you. I want to show you.
It's bad either way. Yeah, no matter what, it's bad.
Yeah, coming out of a kid's mouth, the last thing you want to hear is there's somebody looking at them, and what do you think they want? They want me. Okay.
Yeah, no thanks.
Shake it off. Okay. So there's some more with the kids here. But again, we're going to get back to it. Again, the message of these strange visitors gets mentioned.
They weren't frightened of us. They actually came near. Mm-hmm. And they didn't try attack.
They didn't act in an unfriendly way, you mean?
No. Then he was looking at me back. I couldn't just keep on looking at him, so I had to stop and I looked sideways, so he couldn't keep on making me feel faint.
I think they want people to know that we're actually making harm on this world and we mustn't get too technologed.
Would you like to see him again?
Yes.
You would like to see him again?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you might see him again?
I don't know.
And if you saw him again, what would you do?
I'll ask him some questions.
What would you like to ask him?
I'll ask him what is he doing on Earth and what does he want with us.
Mm-hmm. And if someone were to say, well, this is imagination, this is a dream, how is it different from imagination or dream as you experienced it?
Well, it's definitely reality. And anybody can think that it's not true or that we're making things up, but we know what we've seen and we believe it. I believe in it because I did see it.
Yeah, these kids are really straightforward. They believe it.
I mean, conviction in their voice.
I really like the word she used, technologed.
Technologed.
We really shouldn't get too technologed. I thought it was interesting, too, that she had this take where they came here to say that, whereas one of the others, I can't remember if it was a boy or a girl, had said that they took off as soon as they realized that they could see them, which begs the question, were they here intentionally to give a message, or were they not supposed to be seen and we're like, oh, well, while we're here because you're fucking up your planet? I don't know.
And this is 1994. We weren't too technologed at that point. We were semi-technologed.
We were pretty technologed, dude.
Kind of technologed.
I mean,
a lot more technologed than like the 1900s or the 1800s.
We were working on
1994 is an
DVD players were about
to
come out.
We had knowledge of so much tech.
And the way they talk about the air, you'd think it'd be more like Industrial Revolution kind of stuff, where it's just polluting.
China was very polluted. They should have gone to China and fucking given them that message. Shit.
Yeah, maybe Meng Zhaokuo knew they gave them that message, but all he knew was the hoverfuck stuff. He wasn't worried about the real.
He was also out in rural China, so he was that would fall on deaf ears. They came purely to fuck Meng Zhaokuo. That was for pleasure, not business.
Yeah, he wasn't too technologed. He was scavenging.
No, he didn't even like that big screen TV. Remember, he like gave it away.
So they were just
something.
They just they just like landed possibly, and the one guy was running around because he was like confused, trying to figure out what was going on with the spaceship. So he was just running around like going crazy, and the other guy saw the kids and was like, "Hold up, let's go talk to these kids." It just seems like
up in a tree or something, looking at them. And yeah, when you got all these kids looking at you, yeah, maybe you do just like, maybe I'll throw a couple of the girls a message about, take care of the planet, kids.
Yeah, not the boys, because like, they won't listen.
We totally didn't crash this thing right now. We're here to give you guys a message. We're here.
Like, no, we're cool, we're good.
We totally did not run out of gas.
Yeah, you're telling us. So we're too technologed, but you were able to traverse time and space for entire galaxies to get here to tell us that? Oh, come on.
They can handle being technologed, but we can't. We're not capable of that level of technologed. So if we are going to have the knowledge of the tech, such as they do, we need to learn properly, which is maybe what they were implying when they definitely didn't run out of gas and crash landed, and they just tried to look smart.
Yeah,
no, we can handle the technology, not you. Yeah.
They were running on fumes. Their spaceship was whistling. They were so low on gas. That thing was.
I'm running on fumes.
It was like a flute coming through the sky.
Poison.
Yeah.
A really creepy flute.
So
flutes are creepy.
They are. Why do they
They're
keep
the
coming up?
creepiest instrument.
Yeah, they're just as creepy as kids singing Christmas tunes in November. But so about a year and a half later, the BBC crew returns, and in this clip, we can hear from the principal of the school.
Mr. McKay, what was your first impression when you heard the story?
My first...
1.5 years ago.
Yeah, it was 1.5 years ago. My first impression was that I thought the children were imagining what they saw.
Because there were no adults there.
There were no adults who saw it. It was only children at the school. And all the children in the playground, somewhere like 250 of them. And out of that, only sort of 60 claimed to have actually seen it as such. So that actually made me more skeptical initially. Since we have had all the reporters, we have had Professor Mack from Harvard University out here, I've changed my mind slightly. I believe the children did see something. Unfortunately, I personally didn't see it, so it's very difficult for me to give my own personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, even that bird and the principal seem to believe the kids.
Fucking
That
bird,
sounded
man.
like
Fucking bird.
Flute
That
bird.
fucking bird.
Yeah, look,
They made it
filming this
so
that
hard
time.
for me to hear.
And the guy's
just
accent,
give
I
your-
know it wasn't a Liverpool accent, but he sounded like John Lennon to me, and especially when he said the word imagine. You know?
Yeah.
So
Thanks for the
obnoxious.
soundtrack.
So
These
obnoxious.
bloopers are freaking me out.
But, this is outside. But one of my thoughts on this was he said, all right, 350 kids are at recess. And the teachers are all in a meeting. Look, I remember school. There was always one teacher watching out something at recess. I can't believe they let that many kids just out for
They're fine.
recess.
They're
Well,
fine.
Russ, this is a different country. Like here in America, we
morning
need all the
recess.
supervision. Yeah, because we're too
It-
technologed. But over there, they're good. Like those are good kids.
What's the worst that could happen? A UFO shows up and abducts all of them?
A
Yeah,
lion,
they can't catch them all. They know how to scatter clearly, or run like a human snake, whatever
a
they do.
jaguar or something, a cheetah. This is okay.
Wow.
Okay.
You think just jaguars
Shit just got
running
real.
around Zimbabwe?
Look, I don't know. All right, maybe that's stereotypical talking
Maybe
of
there's
Africa,
owls.
but
Who knows?
who knows? But they, since they've been back, it's been a year and a half. So they take a big group of the kids from the sightings. They put them all together. They sit under a tree. They've all got their very nice uniforms on, and they sit together and they ask all the kids a few questions.
More birds.
It's more than 1.5 years ago, that the UFO landed here? Yeah. Who can tell me exactly what happened? Okay, go ahead.
We were playing down over there on the log.
Yeah?
And then we saw something shiny, so we all ran down over there.
And it was in the early morning?
It was at break time.
Yeah?
And then we saw something shiny. And we saw two people. They were in tight black suits. And they had big eyes. And we didn't actually see their nose. It was quite small. And their mouth was quite small as well. One of them was running in slow motion up across the ship. And the other one was standing beside the ship.
Yeah, you made the drawing, huh? It looked like this?
No, yeah,
Yeah?
something like that. I couldn't see the eyes or the nose or the mouth. It was just blank, like a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
The face was blank like a piece of paper.
Paper faces. Oh God, paper faces and flute music. I can't take any more of this.
Hey, they're sticking to the story though. It's been a year and a half. Some of these kids could have, maybe one. If this many people were lying, you'd think one of the kids would come forward and be like, "Look, I got a guilty conscience. No, this didn't happen." But they're not. They're all still sticking to the same story. They're telling it pretty much like it was. There was a little man whizzing around up to the UFO. Another guy, and I guess the log is like their cool play yard thing. I don't see anything else. They've always
It might just be a log.
it was. They
It's
were just
better
like
than bat. It's wood.
Just
The thing that
One
I
log.
think is super interesting is that some of the kids describe the faces as being blank, and then other ones are like they describe the eyes as being
eyes,
like
yeah.
they were very affected by what the eyes
Do you
looked
think
like.
some
And
of those kids might have needed glasses?
I think some of them saw the back of their heads and were like, "No, it was clearly blank." Oh, I'm serious.
That's a
'Cause
good
the one guy
it's a good theory.
Sure, that's true.
and
It
they
was
do
just
No, there were no
dreadlocks.
eyes.
I don't know. I get the impression that maybe like these beings were able to project, like